and welcome to this section, and here we will talk about one more real-time use case, which is bank in UK, and we will learn some more stuffs. So let's get straight into it. The business problem is you have been hired by the UK bank as a Tableau developer. The manager wants you to know more about his customers by various factors. For example, the business is in different region. So I want different number of users in different regions. How many customers I have in region 1, how many customers I have in region 2, and so on. He asks you to show the map view for that. Also show the distribution of customers by age and bank balance. So I want to create a histogram which will show me the data distribution by age and bank balance. Also create a donut chart which will provide the details about the percentage of customers, and finally show the distribution based on different jobs. There are various jobs available. I want to know how many customers are there in white collar job, how many customers are there in blue collar job, and so on. So simple problem, need to create a good dashboard so that business can come up with some good insights and take some decisions. So let's get straight into it. So data set which we have is this one. I have customer ID, name, surname, gender, age, region, job classification, date joined, and bank balance. Age and bank balance looks like a continuous number. So when I will connect this data with Tableau, you will see that age and bank balance will be a measure. Rest of the values looks like a dimension. So let's connect this data set with Tableau and see how it works. I'll go to Tableau. The source file is an Excel file. I'll go to the location and choose the file. I have the data set. Here I will choose UK bank customers, and now data you can see out here is connected. Now here you can see that customer ID is also a number. So there are chances that this may go as a measure as well. Let's check that. I'll go to sheet 1. You see that customer ID is now considered as dimension, but sometimes Tableau make mistakes. Consider that customer ID is in here. Now customer ID is actually a measure, and sum of customer ID will not make any sense. If you go to data source, this plus this will not make any sense because this is like unique number. So I want to make this as a dimension, so I'll just drag it here and it will become a dimension. As of now, Tableau automatically made this as dimension, but sometimes you may have to drag and make it as dimension. Now the first chart they want is based on the regions. Now here I have a region, but they want a map view. Now to create a map chart, I require a geographic dimension. If you see here, when I hover on the map, you see that one geo dimension. I don't have this geo dimension. I have this ABC, which is a string. If I go to the data source, you can see that this is actually a states in United Kingdom. I can very well change this to states to make it geographic dimension. Tableau understands states, countries, city, and postal code. These 4 fields as state dimension or geographic dimension. So in your data, if the column name is state or country or city or postal code, then only Tableau will make that as geo dimension. Else you have to explicitly make that as a geo dimension. So by clicking on this ABC, go to geographic role and click on state and province, because this is nothing but state of United Kingdom. I can click, it will become a geographic dimension. There is another way as well. If I go to sheet 1, you see I have region, right click, geographic role, state and province. From here also you can create a geographic dimension. Third option is just click on this ABC and change it to geographic role and make it as state and province. Click on this, you see that now it's a geographic role, and you can see that latitude and longitude is also generated. That means now I can able to create a map. I'll drag this region in here in the worksheet you'll see that a map is generated with 4 unknowns, and latitude, longitude automatically comes in. Longitude will always be in columns, latitude will always be in rows. 4 unknowns. Why? When I click on 4 unknown, there is the option of edit locations. When I click on this, you will see that it is taking by default the native location, that is India. If you guys are in India and connected to US servers, in that case it will come as United States. So it depends on which server are you connected to. As of now I am connected to Indian server, so it is like India. I can change it to United Kingdom because the data which I have is actually from United Kingdom. I click OK and you will see that I will get 4 points: England, Scotland, North Ireland and Wales. Now what I want is, I want number of customers by state. Now how will I find number of customers? Tableau will generate this number of records by default, always when you connect to the dataset. If you see in data source, you will not find that number of records. And also this number of records is nothing but a calculated field. You see this small equal to sign. Right click, edit, you can see that 1 is written. So what Tableau does actually, at the back end, it assigns a number something like this to all the records, and when I sum up the records it will give me total number of records. So it is replicating 1 in all the records and it helps me to find the number of records. You can see that I have 2159 records in England, 1124 records in Scotland, 211 records in North Ireland and 520 in Wales. But again, it will give me the records without removing the duplicates. Suppose I have a customer ID which has 2 entries, so it will give me both the records. So number of records will not remove duplicates. Now what to do that? First of all, I want to check whether there is a duplicate or not. I have this number of records. I will drag customer ID because customer ID is my unique column. I'll create a calculated field on that. I'll give number of customers and I will write here count D. Count D is for count distinct. So what it will do, it will give me the unique records, unique customer IDs. So that is how you can remove duplicates. I click OK. I got this number of records because this will give me the count. That is why it is a measure. I'll drag this label out here and I will drag number of record in label as well, and you can see that both the numbers are same in all the states. That means there are no duplicates in the data. So I'm okay with going to number of records because number of records is giving me the total number of count. But to be on the safer side, we may go with number of customers as well, which is count D of customer ID. I can create this. I'll drag this customer ID out in detail, drop down, measure, count D. I can make this as count D as well, and I can drag this in label. That is how also you can create this count D function by drop down. So if you don't want to create a calculated field, just drag and drop down, make it as measure, make it as count distinct, you will get the output. Now I will drag this number of records because I know that this number of records is giving me the unique records because there are no duplicates at all. So we can go with number of records. I will drag this number of records in color. You will see that I am getting 4 shades of color because darker the color, more customer, lighter the color, less customer. I can change my colors as well. Suppose I don't want blue color, I can change it to any random color which is as per the requirement. Now I'll drag this number of records in label as well and region in label as well. So my first chart is ready, which shows me number of customers by state. I can rename this sheet customers by state, and then it's time for us to create a second chart. So as per the business problem, they say that create a distribution of customers by age and bank balance. So I want to create a distribution by age and bank balance. So I'll right click on age, create a bin. I'll create a bin. Now bin is nothing but like a bucket. If you see the data set, in age I have values from 21, 34, 46 and so on. But I want something like a bucket, 0 to 5 years, 6 to 10 years, 11 to 15 years and so on. I want to create a bucket type of structure so that I will create a histogram. For that, there is a concept of bins comes into picture. Bins can only be created on numeric data type. It cannot be created on any other data type. If you see, I can create on customer ID as well. So as I mentioned, bins can only be created on numeric data type. I'll create on age, right click, create bin, and then it will ask me for the bin size. I make it as 5 and click OK. You will see that this will become now dimension, because this is now a category, 5 to 10 years, 11 to 15 years and so on. If I drag this in column, you will see I have 15. Then the next value is 20. That means this particular value will consist of 15 to 19 years of age, 20 to 24 years of age, 5 of bucket size. You see 5, 15 plus 5 is 19, 20 plus 5 is 24, 25 plus 5, that means not maths but 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 5 values. So including 25 plus 5 is 29, 30 plus 5, 30 including plus 5 is 34 and so on. I'll drag this number of records and you will see that I am getting a beautiful insight which shows that maximum customer belongs to the age group of 30 to 39. So around 1598 customer belongs to this age group. And from here we are getting an insight that my age group of the customer is maximum on this age of 30 to 39. They may have small kids as well. So let's come up with a plan which will help them to secure their kids' future. So that we can come up with some product. So that is how we can use this data for come up with some decisions. I'll make this as distribution by age. As of now, this bin size is of 5, where I hard coded it here. Business comes to me and says that make it dynamic, because I don't want you to bother to change 5, then 10, 15 or 5 again. Come up with an option where I as a user can change the value and bin size automatically change. Then the option of parameter comes into picture. I'll create a parameter and here I'll give the numbers like minimum bin size of 5, maximum bin size of 30, step size of 5. So I'm giving user an option. User can choose a bin size of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So minimum of 5, maximum of 30 and step size of 5. I click OK. I got this parameter which is present here. Let's make this as a slider. And now when I change, you see that my bin is changing and below the chart is also changing. So that is how you can make this bin dynamic. And now it is a dynamic histogram. Now same thing I want to apply in bank balance as well. Right click, create a bin. Let's make this bin as 5000. So I'm creating a bin size of 5000. Create a new sheet, distribution by balance. And then I will drag this bank balance out here and maybe number of records. It will give me that how many customer belongs to which bucket. So I can clearly see that most of the customer belongs to the lower bucket. Most of the customer has less balance. So I got this chart as well. If you want, we can make this dynamic as well. So that is your practice. You can do that. I am not doing it here, but you can make this dynamic by creating a parameter. The next chart which we want to create is a donut chart. Now by default, Tableau does not give any option to create a donut chart. I have this pie chart option. I want to create by gender, so I'll drag gender, I'll drag number of records and go to pie. It creates a pie chart. But how to make a donut chart? Donut chart is nothing but a circle in between. For that I will make some tricks. I'll create a calculated field and name it as donut. You can give any name. I prefer to give this name as donut. I'll make number 0 in it and click OK. Donut field is now created, which is a dummy field, and this field will not impact my calculations. Sum of 0 is 0, median of 0 is 0, count of 0 is 0, and so on. So it is not gonna impact my calculations. So I duplicate this. You see I have 2 pi now. When I click on this, this is the property of above pi. When I click on this, this is the property of below pi. When I click on all, this is the property of both the pi's. Now what I want is, I will go to the below pi. I'll remove all the property. You can see that it became a circle with gray color. My background is white color. I'll make this as a white. I'll go to the second pi and I will increase the pi size. Now you see this pi and you see this small circle. Now what I want is, I want to overlap this circle on top of this. And for that, if you see drop down, there is option of dual axis. This option will always be coming in this right part. Here you will not see that. That means you can only overlap this chart on this. You cannot overlap this chart on this. That's why I removed everything from this chart, so that I can overlap this on this particular pi. Drop down, dual axis, and you see that the donut chart is created. Actually it is a pie chart which is overlapped by the circle. I can resize the circle so that it will look better. You see now it is a proper donut chart. I'll remove this axis. I don't want this. I'll remove this axis as well. And I will remove this line. You see this thin gray line. Right click, format, lines, remove 0 line. Now what I want, I will drag number of records in label, which will give me the population based on the gender, and drag gender in label as well. So male I have 2165, female I have 1849. I want to convert this to the percentage. That means I want to convert this label into percentage. Drop down, quick table calculation, percentage of total. You can see that I have 53.936% male, 46.064% female. Suppose I want 2 decimal places. Drop down, format, go to number, then maybe number custom, and I can make it as or percentage and 2 decimal places. Done. I see 53.94, 46.06. And when I hover, you see this donut 0. This donut 0 is not making any sense. I'll go to all because it is coming in both, in this chart as well as in this chart. I'll go to all, click on tooltip and remove this value. Click OK. I got this, everything looking perfect, and this donut chart is ready. So I'll write distribution by gender. Then finally I have to create a job classification chart. Let's create a chart which is known as tree map. When I click on this tree map, you will see that I have this box coming in. Bigger the box, that means more customers at this group. Smaller the box, that means less customers at this group. I'll drag number of records in label. I can make it as percentage as well if you want. There we go. We can highlight these values. If I go to label, click on this 3 dots, select this entire value, make it bold, increase the font, click OK, done. So that is how you can create a tree map. So I can say this is distribution by job. Once that is done, I'll create a dashboard because all the charts are ready and I have to present this to the business. I'll make it as automatic so that it will take entire area. Click on show dashboard title. Let's give this title as customer segmentation dashboard. Let's make it as bold. If you want, we can write one liner as well. This dashboard will give an idea about customer demographics distribution. Let's make the size as maybe 8. Click OK. We'll get this a beautiful subheading as well. Now I have this sheet here. I have to drag my first chart. So this is my first chart, which is of map. Cross this legend, I don't want that. Age group or age distribution, I'll put this parameter below this or above this, so that I will able to understand that this parameter is for making this dynamic. Then we have bank balance. Then we have gender as well. I'll put this here so that it will explicitly tell me that this is for this chart. I have distribution by gender, and finally I have job type. So you can see that I have a dashboard ready, which consists of one map and then rest of the 4 charts. You can see this is looking very good. Everything is perfect and my dashboard is ready. So that is how you can create a dashboard. Now business comes up with a requirement that do one thing: when I click on England, all the charts should change based on England. So what I will do, I'll drop down here. There is an option of use as filter. I'll click on this. When I click on England, you see that other charts are changing. When I click on Scotland, charts are changing, and so on. So that is how you can apply action filter. We will have a separate business problem for action filter in detail, but that is how you can apply action filter. So hope this makes sense. I'll rename this dashboard to customer segmentation dashboard. And we are done with this dashboard. So that is how you can create this dashboard and come up with the insights. Hope this makes sense. We'll see you in the next business case. Till then, happy analyzing.